All right. Well, we're off to Baylor this weekend. Super excited about it. Get 2 games against Baylor, 2 games against Sam Houston. Just, happy to be in the state of Texas, to be honest with you, and our time zone. It's going to be some good games, though. I mean, obviously, Baylor's had a great year so far, and we've been, moving in the right direction. So I'm excited to hopefully get some fans to drive on up there, and it's going to be beautiful weather, good softball weather. So I don't know, just happy to be playing and not dealing with weather this weekend, because every weekend we've dealt with weather.
So we touched on it a little bit on Tuesday, but can you kind of talk about Dariana and facing her this weekend, what she's going to bring and what you've kind of prepped your hitters for, knowing?
Yeah, so funny story, I recruited Dari at Fresno State. So if you look at kind of her, it would line up because I think she redshirted her freshman year and then COVID and all blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I know her very well. Great kid, great competitor. She's a high spin rate kid, is going to work us in and out. Doesn't really have a change up. She has like an off speed drop. So we're just going to, get a good pitch. So that's what we do. We hunt below our waist and square up balls. So, but she's going to compete, and it's going to be a tough game, but I love tough. Like, that's the fun stuff. That's when you get to figure out what your DNA is. So, she's somebody that, obviously, we're anticipating and seeing. The other one is Benford, who's a local Texas native. I mean, that kid's a heck of an athlete. I mean, she plays shortstop, third base, and pitches. Like, woof. And so she's obviously an off-speed kid, so she throws in the upper 60s as well, but she has 3 different speeds. So, we're going to have to be balanced in the box and kind of, think opposite way and really think about having good direction. So, we're going to get a good plethora of looks, and that's kind of what we have as well. Is we have a variety of looks. We got some lefties, we have some righties, we have some hard, we have some thumbers. So I don't know. It's going to be a good battle, and not to overlook Sam Houston. I mean, that's the biggest thing. That's kind of what we talked about this week. Is that Houston game could snip you in the butt, and we did a good job of coming out. And I think that's the same way with Sam Houston. Is they're going to compete, and so if we don't come ready to play, we're going to get snipped.
But also, Baylor's lineup through and through right now, they've been able to hit. Can you just talk about like the pitcher's approach, and then even just pitching to somebody like Shaylin Govan right now, who just seems so locked in?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We've faced Oklahoma and UCLA, so I feel like we're prepared to face a good lineup. I think when you look at Baylor's power numbers, they're more of, singles and doubles and kind of, have to string together some hits, and they're going to small ball you, kind of put the ball in play, make you have to play defense. So that's really where our concentration has been at, is being able to make routine plays. Don't let them get extra 60 feet. Govan is having a great year, but I think we'll be all right. Like I my money's always on us. So I think, we have a good plan for her. Obviously you can't miss in a certain part of the zone because she will deposit it. But I think overall, we are going to match up well, and we're going to compete.
Coach, you mentioned UCLA and Oklahoma. What did you learn from playing those top ranked teams, and what did your team take away from those games that y'all can bring with y'all?
We're right there, to be honest with you. Yeah. We didn't make some plays, and if you look at the box scores, most of those runs were not earned, and so you just got to clean up. It's always a game of inches. It's always a game of some, who can make the most plays, who can make the adjustments quicker. And so I felt like our team got they got an abrupt taste of that, and for me, it was exciting because it was like, man, coach, we're right there. And I'm like, absolutely. Like, we have the arms to be able to stay in games, and we just needed that extra hit, that one hit to kind of break things open. And Star Ferguson honestly was about 2 inches away from getting that hit for us in that UCLA game. The left fielder made a great play. She dove and caught it. If it gets by her, it's a triple, and we score at least 2 and got 1 out with a runner at third base. There's a variety of things you can do. So, Cottrell being out, obviously against UCLA, hurt us, but I thought, like I said, Star did a tremendous job and stepped up, and we'll continue to get more opportunities. Cottrell will, obviously we're still going to have to be without her this weekend, but somebody's going to step up. These are all opportunities. So I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited about kind of our brand of ball that we're starting to develop.
So far through the season, doing well, batting average, hitting the ball, but also high on walks, high on base percentage. How good is it as a coach offensively see that there's multiple avenues of generating base runners?
Yeah, I mean, I think with a young team, that's what you're trying to instill is kind of their ability to hunt pitches that we can, do damage on. I think one of the things we had identified as a staff is increasing our walks, or I would say having better at bats, and decreasing our strikeouts. And so that's something that we work hard on, and we really preach obviously the yes, 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 no approach, but not swinging outside of our, as a hitter, you have certain areas of the plate that you cover really well, and then you have certain areas that you don't cover well. And so really being able to identify what that is as a hitter is important, and then being able to execute when you see that pitch. And so that's something that we work every day on, of just being able to, do damage at balls in a certain zone.
Do you have any goals or things specifically that you really want to see out of your team this weekend?
Yeah, I'm not a big goal person. I am a very in the moment person, and that's kind of how season will be as well. My hope, I guess you could say goal would be always for us to come up and compete our butts off. Come out there, make it hard on the opponent, make it hard on the pitcher, make them throw pitches. Being able to execute our game plan. Those types of things, but those are going to be everyday things. But our biggest thing is I want to wear the opposing pitcher out, make her throw 30 pitches every inning, because that gets tiring. And then you start to get better pitches. You get to the deeper part of the pitching kind of lineup, and I don't know, good things happen. So really kind of instilling in them of having intense at bats. I think that's really big for us.
Speaking of A&M and Sam Houston, a man who's a little bit of a legend around here based on what he did. Have you crossed paths or had an interaction with Bob Brock in years past, decades past?
Yeah, I know him, but no, I haven't. So hopefully, we'll get some time to catch up a little bit. Yeah, but obviously
I think he's retired and everything, right?
Yeah, but he's out there, right? Isn't he over?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So so obviously I know his players.
Right.
Yeah.
You bet, absolutely.
Yeah. And I really, I actually feel like I align really well with his type of players. They're about my age, so it might be that as well. But I've had some interactions with the alums at my house, and at various things, and I feel like that DNA is really what we're trying to instill here.
So just from a confidence standpoint, I know we talked about it with Oklahoma, UCLA, and those games being as close as they were. But then you get a win against Houston. How you said before, those teams can bite you if you don't show up. So do you feel like just taking care of the games you're supposed to, and then also being able to compete from just a confidence standpoint, has these girls ready for SEC play?
I think, that's my hope. Yeah. And they'll tell you practice is hard. Practice is not you come here and feel good. Sorry. I want them to enjoy, they get to play the game, and I want practice to be hard. I want it to be faster than a game. I want it to be, just difficult. I want them to really, when the games happen, for things to just slow down and then be able to really get into a good mental headspace. And so we purposely, set up our pre-conference series this way. We have talked about, we obviously opened up at home, we took care of business, but then we went to Florida, and then we went to California. We've dealt with rain delays, starting, a game at 12:30 at night and then getting rained out. We've had a variety of things. We've been on the road quite a bit. And obviously we start conference play on the road. And so I don't know. I just feel like those of us that kind of, buy into this grind, buy into this work ethic, buy into kind of the grit and kind of how we do things and what our DNA is. I think you're starting to really see those kids shine in our system. And I think that we are going to be prepared for whatever kind of comes our way. And I'm not saying that means we're going to win everything, but I think we're going to be prepared, and we're going to be able to deal with adversity.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Sorry for being tardy.